we'll just leave this morning, but we'll motivate for the swift return of Rinpoche, for the perfect reincarnation is what they've been asking for. Okay, so let's just settle into our meditation posture. And the feet flat on the floor. If you're sitting, if you are sitting at a desk in front of your computer, and some of you I can see are in a regular cross-legged position. So if it's possible to have your sits bones slightly raised, this helps to keep the spine nicely aligned, keeps you up off your sacrum, keeps you from falling back onto your sacrum. So you want to be sitting on top of your sits bones as much as possible, as much as your flexibility will allow. Shoulders are aligned with the hips. And ears with the shoulders, again, as much as possible. So really think about lengthening that spine. Let's imagine it's a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. Lengthening, putting some space in between those vertebrae. The head is very slightly tipped forward with the eyes down. And bring your awareness to the crown of the head and relax the scalp and the forehead, the eyes, the nose, cheeks, mouth, and then the back of the head. Just relax the scalp there. And back of the neck. And relax the ears, the inner ears, your temples, the jaw, back of the tongue. And allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down, all the while lengthening. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly and your limbs. And then bring the mind to the breath and just notice very subtle sensations of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. And just notice how you're turning up this morning. And know that however it is, you're totally fine. It's all okay. And then just notice if there's sounds in your environment and just allow them to be there. Try not to have the mind wander off or get annoyed or going off to investigate. And then just, again, bring the mind back and just notice what thoughts may be arising this morning. Do you have anxious thoughts or kind thoughts, panic thoughts, depressed thoughts, stories? So then, as it's arising, just put some space in between the thoughts. Give yourself a rest. So you'll be investigating your mind. You're checking what's going on with curiosity and interest, like some observer. So bring to mind all the people of your life, your loved ones, people we have very deep and profound relationships with, then those people who are not so beloved to us. We don't often, there's people in our lives we don't really like. They've harmed us. And then there's those folks in our lives who are they're just total strangers. We couldn't really care less. But in terms of remembering impermanence, day by day, things change between us, inside our minds, in our relationships. And the friend, the enemy, and the stranger could change place at any time. Our lives could change at any time. So the first step on the path to developing bodhicitta is this development of equanimity. So we think that we're all the same, our friends, as our friends. We're all equal to our enemies and our strangers, because we all have this deep wish to be happy, to be comfortable, for security. We all also want to avoid suffering. So I think we'll do this meditation this morning. We're doing it mainly for this swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, to be able to continue his work. But we're doing it for the benefit of all these people of our life, for ourselves as we move along our path, and for all sentient beings. So imagine in front of you, and Lou, if I could share the screen.
Should be a co-host.
Yes, I think okay, I've got it. There we are. There's our Tara. So for those of you who don't know, some of you may already know, I think I already said Tara. This was drawn by Rinpoche when he was about 15 years old. And we found the original at Aptos' house. That's his house here in California. So a few years ago, it had fallen apart a little bit, but it was kind of amazing to see the original. And then apparently somebody asked Rinpoche, why is there a third eye on green Tara? Because green Tara normally doesn't have a third eye. White Tara has a third eye. And Rinpoche just said, oh, well, that's just how I see her. So you can imagine Tara in the space in front of us, in front of you. Green light body. So beautiful. And she's sitting on a multicolored lotus. And she can be as large or as small as you like. But just imagine she's about, 6 to 8 feet away, like a body's length away. So her left foot is drawn in, like a half lotus, or when you're sitting meditating. And her right foot is out resting on a multicolored lotus. It's got its own little tiny lotus that it's resting on. And her left foot drawn in indicates a complete and effortless control over her desire energy. And her right foot, this right foot out, indicates her willingness and capability to get up and act for sentient beings. So she's ready to just leap up at any moment. And often Tara is referred to as the wish-fulfilling Buddha. And she represents the quick capacity, represented as female, to cut through the obstacles to get things done, to be successful. And of course, to make you blissful. So imagine Tara as beautiful, really beautiful as possible. She's useful and radiant, full of energy, full of bliss. And she's wearing colored silken garments in the Royal Indian style, and jewelry on her ears and ankles, arms, neck. She has this 5-pointed crown, also with jewelry. So you can also imagine that this is the manifestation of your teacher's mind, if you have a teacher. And so whether your teacher, whatever gender, is no matter, but is appearing as this green Tara for your benefit. The Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened by this practice of meditating on Guru Tara. May I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So now we start with receiving blessings, and imagine one chakra at a time, powerful, blissful light coming from each of her 3 chakras, entering my 3 chakras or your 3 chakras, and filling you completely, first purifying them and then filling with blessings. So we start with the body. So you imagine that Tara sends powerful, blissful white light from the Om at her brow chakra. You can just imagine this enters your brow and completely fills you. And imagine that all problems and sufferings and heaviness of the body are purified by this light. And any harm you've ever done to any living being with this body and in all infinite past bodies is also purified. It's completely eradicated, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soham. 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 Now imagine the light coming, and this time imagine that your body has become a blissful light body, just like Tara's, indestructible, like it will be when I attain the deity's body, the Sambhabakaya. And imagine it's not possible to ever harm others with this body, only to benefit. So you imagine that light coming a second time as we recite the mantra. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soham. 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 And your body feels blissful and light. Next is the speech. And this time Tara sends red light from the R at her throat to my throat. So imagine this blissful red light, and this purifies all the problems of my speech, the inappropriate speech, the useless speech, uncontrolled speech, angry speech, criticism, when we're unable to express ourselves inappropriately or appropriately, it comes out inappropriately. And all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your speech of this life and in infinite past lives is completely purified, eradicated by this blissful red light, not one atom left. Om Tare Ture Soha. 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 So imagine completely purified your speech. Now the light comes again, the red light. And this time imagine you're totally full of the blissful, perfect, compassionate wisdom, appropriate speech of Lama Tara, such that whatever sound I utter is necessarily beneficial to any living being who hears it, all of which is my potential. And so feel full of this powerful energy as you recite the mantra. Om Tare Ture Soha. 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 So feel full of this powerful energy to benefit others with your speech. Now the mind. Lama Tara sends powerful beams of blue light this time, blue like the sky, from the blue hum at her heart chakra. And this enters my heart, your heart. And imagine that all the unhappiness of mind, confusion, arrogance, anger, jealousy, pride, resentment, hurt, anxiety, self-hate, all this is totally purified, and that all my delusions, including the root ego grasping, which is cause of my own suffering and why I harm others, is totally eradicated by this powerful blue light, filling you not one atom left. Om Tare Ture Soha. 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 Imagine the mind completely purified. Now this time blue light comes again, and this time feel full of this blissful, omniscient, compassionate mind of Lama Tara, which is your potential. Om Tare Ture Soha. 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 Now imagine the three lights coming from Lara Tara's three chakras simultaneously, penetrating my three places, and this time feeling that even the subtlest stains of all delusion are totally eradicated, not one atom left. Feel completely blissful as we recite the mantra. Om Tare Ture Soha. 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 So we'll just meditate for a couple of minutes in this blissful state, concentrating on being one with the energy of Mother Tara. Now imagine Tara's lotus in front of you, dissolving upwards into her body, her light body. And she comes to sit above the crown of your head, facing the same way as you, about a couple of inches above your head. And that out of a wish to become oneness with your mind, she dissolves into green light, sort of melts into you through the crown and merges with your body, speech, and mind. And think, I am oneness with Lama Tara's body, speech, and mind, and feel blissful. Let's just dedicate all the positive energy we've created this morning doing this meditation on Lama Tara, for the benefit of all those people of our life, but particularly for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche. And have a wonderful day. Lots of love. Thank you so much for hosting, Lou and Mary, keeping an eye on the door, and anyone else that was there watching the door. And if you're still in meditation, please stay there. Lots of love, and I'll see some of you this evening. So we're going to do this. Hello, Black Cat. We're going to see this, do this meditation on Friday. There's a little bit extra on the end, which is about more about developing bodhicitta. So I'll allow more time to finish it on Friday. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Lots of love.